Hello viewers, welcome to my Doctor Who themed YouTube channel, Who Ventures. In this video I'm going to give you my first thoughts about the episode Vampires of Venice. Now I did some notes, but I'll get to them in a minute. First of all, I thought this episode was the most scenic of all Doctor Who's. Although I haven't watched all Doctor Who's ever, I thought it was extremely scenic and very filmic. The costumes, sumptuous costumes with velvet and rich jewel colours, gorgeous costumes. The lighting and the blue water is just a beautifully produced and beautifully shot episode. Now, my first point is, reading last week, some viewers have picked up on the fact that the Doctor's alienness can be comparable to the to autistic traits, which I think it has always been comparable, but a lot of people have said that Matt Smith's version of the Doctor shows more autistic traits than perhaps other versions have. The ones that I picked up on this week were Matt Smith bursts out of the cake at Rory's stag do when Rory's expecting the stripper who's outside shivering in the cold, but the Doctor tells him to bring her in anyway. He bursts out of the cake and then he says to Rory, he says, "Oh, Amy kissed him," and then said, you're lucky blokes, you great kisser," and then he says, "Oh, how come it always sounds better in your head?" So I thought that, and then he does this fun, I think with Matt Smith sort of hand gestures, there's my possible thought it could be compared to stinning, because he does some sort of little hand gesture either side of the cake, which I don't know whether the paper's stuck to him or not, but it looks like he's just doing a hand gesture because he's made a mistake. So, and then another thing I picked up on was when Rory said, "You kissed her back," and the Doctor says, "No, I didn't, I kissed her mouth." And I thought that was quite a literal interpretation of what Rory said. So I think this episode, there's a lot of, for the fans, there's a certain section of fandom who, I don't know where they picked it up from because I haven't seen much of Classic Who, I've seen a bit, but they seem to assume that the Doctor's asexual and doesn't have any kind of romantic or other feelings whatsoever. I don't see why, if he did, it would be a bad thing, because it doesn't make him any less of a hero if he admits to having those kinds of feelings. But for those fans, I think it would be a controversial episode this week, because he does, like, first of all he says Amy's a great kisser, and then there's a bit where he meets the vampire ladies, like he looks through the men, he thinks they're the vampire ladies at that point, and said we'll take him to Sphere, and he goes, "Ooh," and like he's a bit excited. And also, oh yeah, there's the bit where he says, "Well, I've been around," so I'm like, really? Yes, okay. So I think that sort of shows he's the direction, not the direction, but sort of the angle Moffat's taking with him, that the Doctor does have those feelings, and he's not like asexual, like, "Oh, people in love, girls, kissing, he's not like that at all." So I think those were my other little essay point kind of thing. I thought Amy was a little bit harsher in this episode. Now, contrasting this Amy with the Beast Below Amy, she does come across as a little bit harsher. Now, I don't know whether that's something that perhaps she's been possessed by something, or whether the song injected her with something that changed her, or it could just be Amy, because it's probably just as jarring for the viewer as it is for the Doctor, because we thought of Amelia as this little girl, little lost girl, and then for us as well, it's about 5 minutes later she's a grown woman, so we don't really know Amy. We think we do, but we don't actually know her, so there's all these facets of Amy coming out that we get to discover, and sometimes she's nice, but sometimes with this I thought she's a bit harsh and a little bit cruel to Rory and that, but we still got to discover a lot about Amy, because we didn't see her grow up or go through the difficult times with the psychotherapists and psychologists and psychiatrists. We didn't see the difficult times she had probably at school, and probably getting bullied and having to cope with like people not believing her and wishing for the Doctor to come back every year, so that might be what makes her a little bit thoughtless sometimes, a bit harsh, but we'll find out, won't we? Also, that was interesting seeing where the vortex clouds comes from, because it seemed to come from this episode, because it was the dark clouds of the lightning, and then at the end where the Queen thing person said there's still cracks, and behind some of them there was other worlds and behind others there was silence. Then the Doctor points out to Rory, just as they're getting in the TARDIS at the end of the episode, "Can you hear that?" And Rory says, "No, it's just silence." And then they go through the keyhole of the TARDIS and it goes into the vortex cloud of the lightning. So that's quite an interesting little hint about where the vortex title sequence came from. So I thought Rory was good in this. He is a bit bumbling, but he is like just the everyday human, like all this incredible stuff happening to him. But he's really brave with his sword fight with the broom. I thought he did really well there, and that bit, and he said, "Uglier than your mum." I thought that was quite funny how he got the sword fight sort of started. What else have I got in my notes? I thought it was quite funny when the gondolier bloke had Rory's top on. That was quite good. Also, that was a bit, I think it's taking a bit nicky take against people who complain about every little thing that's like sort of veering towards like romance and stuff, because they had, and it also nods back to when Christopher Eccleston's Doctor first met Captain Jack, and he's talking about like screwdrivers, and he's got a square and stuff, because Rory has this little torchy thing, and then the Doctor whips out this great big sort of UV light thing and says, "Yours is bigger than mine," and the Doctor says, "Let's not go there." So I thought that was funny, because it's like slightly hinting, but then obviously you can't go there then, Doctor Who. And then I like that bit, that was an interesting bit, about when he said, "Never thought fish from space would be quite so buxom." By the way, I've done sort of costume themes this week, because we had this kind of top already, so I thought I'd do a costume theme. Thank you for watching part 1 of my review of Vampires of Venice. Please do enjoy part 2.